Hi, everybody good? I stand here again talking about kids with guns and how dangerous it is, and that guns get you in either one or two places, either in jail or in the cemetery. And fortunately, we don't have anybody going to the cemetery this morning after the incident we had during the evening. But it's the same recipe for disaster when we have young people with guns. And then we have citizens who do not help us out by keeping their vehicles locked, leaving spare keys in their vehicles, and leaving their guns in their vehicles. And I've said this before, your vehicle is not a holster, don't leave your gun in it. That can help us out. That can help us out tremendously in getting the guns off the street that these kids have and they're running around. About 12 o'clock this morning in the areas, Rosewood, South Beltline area, we got a call that a truck had been stolen and that there was a gun in the truck, a pistol. Probably a couple hours later, two of our canine officers were able to observe the vehicle. They went to stop it. It failed to stop. We had a chase. The chase ended. The two individuals got out and they ran. One of them, both of them had a gun. Both of them had pistols. One of them, excuse me, one of them, Jeremy Taylor, our canine officer. Well, first we're going to start it with a video. Go back. This is the video right here of them going through a neighborhood pulling on doors. That's one of our suspects there. This is what we see constantly at night with individuals that will go through neighborhoods, pull on doors, not break into the cars, just pull in the door to see if it's unlocked. When it's unlocked, they go in. In this incident, they went into a vehicle. Key fob was in there, which made it easy for them to start the vehicle, and the pistol was in there. Again, then later on when we go to stop it, there's a chase ensues. Our canine officer, Hodge, and his dog, Kobe, as you see here, is in a foot chase. Taylor turned around and he fires at them. Our police dog, Kobe, was hit. The deputy was not. We returned fire. We were able to neutralize the subject who shot at us, and that's Taylor. He is in the hospital at this point. I cannot give you the extent of his injuries, but I am told it is not life-threatening injuries with him. We did find a gun that he had. That was a gun that's probably going to be stolen out of another car break-in. Probably a couple hours later, we arrested the second suspect, who is 14 years old. Well, I cannot give you his name because he's 14 and we can only charge him as a juvenile. But he's charged with grand larceny of motor vehicle and multiple weapon charges. Two teenagers out here all night long, going into cars, going into vehicles, stealing them, having guns, and shooting at us. Shooting at us. Now, our dog is in surgery at this point. We have a good report that the dog's going to be okay. Kobe's going to be fine. But I stand here just too often and talk about the same thing, that one, our citizens are not helping us out to the level that they can by just simply locking your vehicle. Just lock your vehicle. Don't leave your gun in it. And I know with the change in gun laws that we've got, it doesn't matter what laws have changed. You just don't leave your gun. That's not what a responsible gun owner does. You don't leave it in there where two teenagers like this can get it and then end up almost dying because they don't have the thought process not to shoot at cops. And that's what they did. That's what Taylor did this morning. He shot at us. He shot our dog. Now he's got to pay the price for that. But here's lives that have been changed. They'll never be the same. Not only theirs, but ours too. With our deputies that were there. We had two of our deputies there. We had Hodge, and then we also had Washington. Now, Washington's dog did not engage. His dog wasn't involved in it, but this is the picture. This is them. These are the ones who are out here at night. While we're all sleeping, they're out here at night protecting us and putting their life in danger to make sure that we're safe and making sure that, you know, stuff doesn't get stolen. But help us out. My God, help us out. Lock your vehicles. Don't be a responsible gun owner. Don't leave that gun in that vehicle. We're very confident that they are responsible for lots of going into cars. I'm not going to say break-ins because they're not breaking in, but going into vehicles and stealing stuff. And so the investigation will continue on that. Our shooting team is working the shooting part of it. They'll get all the evidence. They'll present that to the solicitor's office, who will make a determination if our officers acted properly. We'll bring criminal charges, as you see. The 17-year-old Taylor's being charged as an adult since the severity of the crimes that he's done, which includes attempted murder and also shooting our dog. So this is very early in the investigation on what they've been involved in. It's very early in the gathering of the evidence for the officer-involved shooting, but we'll continue to move forward. Just appreciate the cooperation of the community that helped us out this morning. You know, when you're sleeping at 3 o'clock in the morning and you get woke up with gunfire in your backyard, and then next thing you know, the whole area is surrounded by blue lights and cops running around all over the place, that kind of disturbs that neighborhood, and people cooperated with us, so I appreciate that. But I'm just asking people continue to listen to what we do, what we say, and do it, as far as your responsible gun ownership and also keeping your vehicles locked. Questions?
Sheriff Lott, does the recently passed constitutional carry law worry you that it could possibly make guns more available or easily to use for teenagers?
It could. But this is just, again, this goes back to responsible gun owner. These kids wouldn't have these guns if people would not leave them in their vehicles. I don't think constitutional carry have anything to do with that. Yeah, I'm worried about what the change may bring, but I don't think that change had anything to what happened early this morning. These are just two out-of-control teenagers who do not have any parental supervision. You know, a 14-year-old and a 17-year-old at 3 o'clock in the morning. Who's in charge? Seems like they're in charge, and that's not the way it should be.
Sure. Will you be requesting that SLED investigate the officer-involved shooting, and if not, why not?
No, because we do our own. We have the capability of doing that, and we've been doing that now probably over 10 years. You know, citizens of Richland County trust us and know that we're going to do what's proper. Just, you know, the checks and balances that we have is we just get the evidence and the information, and that's turned over to the solicitor's office, and they make a determination. We don't. Our Citizens Advisory Council will also look at it. You know, we do internal look at it, but it's just gathering the information, and we do it, and you know, we can do it, and we've been doing it, and that's it falls back on the solicitor's office now to make that determination.
Do you know if either of the teenagers have any previous charges, or is this the first time that
I don't know at this point. Again, this is still early. You know, this happened 3 o'clock this morning. So we're still in the very early stages of it, but I think it's important that we get the information out as soon as possible. And for all the dog lovers out there, Kobe's going to be okay.
In your opinion, is there a need for legislation for irresponsible gun owners, as you call them, who don't store their guns properly?
I don't know if legislation would do it or not. To me, it's just common sense. I mean, you just, again, your vehicle's not a holster. Don't leave your gun in it. I mean, that's where your gun's supposed to be, where you know where it's at. And you're in your house sleeping, and your gun's out there screaming for some kid to come by and pick it up. That's not being a responsible gun owner whatsoever. So I don't know if legislation is the answer to it or not.
Sheriff Lott, just a few questions. Where exactly did the chase occur, and how long did this chase go on?
It was a very short chase. Again, it was in the area bordered by South Beltline and Rosewood Drive.
And do you know what the top speeds were and if the chase ended in a crash?
No, I'm not worried about that right now. What I'm worried about is our deputies survived and our police dogs survived too, and the bad guys that got caught. That's my priority right now. Stuff like that, we'll deal with that later on.
And do you know if the body cam footage is going to get released?
Probably at some point we'll release some of it, yes. I mean, there's no need not to show what happened. It's one of the body cams. You can hear the shots. You can hear who shot first, and then you can hear that we returned fire. So, again, we found a gun that they had, which was used to shoot our dog. We found that gun, and we found the other gun that was stolen out of the truck when the truck was stolen. So we got both weapons, and we'll be able to tie them in ballistically with how they were used.
And lastly, do you know if the 14-year-old is facing any injuries, if there was a crash?
No, he's not hurt.
Sheriff, were the teenagers from that neighborhood, and also we've heard some residents of that area make complaints about crime rates. Is this part of a pattern of crime you've seen in the neighborhood? Is there anything to residents' concerns about increased crime?
They live in that area, so they live close enough to get there. Is it a crime wave? When you have two individuals like this, yeah, they go on a crime wave. They're going to continue to do it until they get caught. This is not their first time on this merry-go-round. And so they've been out there doing it, and they just got caught. And if we hadn't caught them this morning, they would have probably been back out tonight or tomorrow night doing the same thing. And that's the pattern that we see is, somebody like this, one that has the freedom to be out at 3 o'clock in the morning. Today's a school day. Why aren't you getting sleep and getting ready to go to school? What happened to that concept? So crime wave, we have those periodically until we catch them. And we were able to do a great job last night. Again, the truck was stolen at 12 o'clock. Within a couple hours, we had it, a short chase, and we apprehended both of them. Didn't expect to be shot at. I don't think anticipated that. But again, this is the type of individuals and the mentality that we have to deal with. These are kids with guns who really don't know the consequences. These two are going to find out what the consequences are.
Sheriff, we've seen in the past judges be kind of lenient on teenagers or first offenses. Do you hope that these two teenagers are held to the full extent of the law to kind of make an example to others?
Yeah, it's particularly Taylor, who shot our dog and shot at our deputy. Yeah, that's a little bit different level there. That's not a teenage who just stumbled and fell and made a bad decision. He pulled a trigger, and he didn't pull it just one time. He pulled a trigger with a deadly weapon, and he knew what he was doing. So yes, he needs to be held accountable for it.
Can you tell how many shots that you fired before returning?
Not at this point. Again, that's way too early to get into all of that. All right, thank y'all. Go ahead.
Sheriff Lott, what do you think is the overall solution to teens and gun violence?
Education. We got to educate these kids that that's not the answer to anything whatsoever. The enforcement part is part of it, but that we hold the ones accountable that or go out here and continuously do it. But we got to have education. Where does it start? It starts in the home. It starts in the home. Again, where's the home life for these two kids to be out here at this time of night? So education is the key. We got to educate these kids that gun doesn't give them power, don't give them respect. It's going to get them one or two places, in the jail or in the cemetery. And we see that this morning because two of them are in jail because of the guns and their criminal activity they're involved in. All right, thank y'all.